fellow Star Wars nerds, and welcome to Unlimited Content, the podcast where two brothers talk about all of Star Wars film and TV in chronological order on the internet as an excuse to hang out more. We're your hosts, Sam and Jack, and this week we're talking about the Clone Wars, Season 4, Episodes 15 and 16, Deception, and Friends and Enemies. Jack.
Sam!
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling a little tired, but like in a satisfied sort of way, where it's like I've been doing things and getting stuff done, and so I'm like, I could sleep right now, but also I feel kind of like good about it. You know?
Nice.
So it's like it's not a bad tired.
I like that. Is that satisfied feeling having just paid the bills?
No, you know why?
Why?
Because for the next 12 hours or something, you're unemployed, Sam.
No!
Which means we definitely need a sponsor.
We do.
Luckily, we do have a sponsor.
Oh, good. Thank goodness.
To keep Sam specifically afloat for the next 12 hours.
Yes.
Until he starts his new
To
job.
keep this podcast solvent. And by podcast, I mean me.
Yeah. Well, luckily, we have a sponsor. This week's episode of Limited Content is brought to you by the pockets and pillowcases that keep the pillows from falling out.
Those are so nice.
Yes, aren't they?
But also, like, when... They also can be frustrating when you like forget that they're there and you're like going to like change your sheets and like throw your like you're doing laundry, you taking the pillowcase off, and you just want to like satisfyingly like shake the pillow out of the pillowcase, but it's like held in there. Like, no, you're doing your job too well. Stop it.
Yeah. So my thing is, I got a new pillow fairly recently, back when I got my new bed, and it is it's a nice like memory foam type pillow.
Nice.
And it's nice and like still fluff, and it's good. It's big, and it's not like it hasn't been flattened by time. Time
flattens all.
Yeah, time is a flat circle, whatever. But yeah, the thing it's great, but the thing is, it's very like smooth and slippery. Like the outside of the pillow, it's just like very smooth. And so when I have like a regular pillowcase on it that doesn't have one of those pockets, like inevitably while I'm sleeping, the pillowcase will just slide off. Like, I'm like, well, this is frustrating.
That would be frustrating.
I got some new sheets recently as well around the same time, and the pillowcases that came with that one have the pockets. And honestly, I didn't even know that the pockets were a thing until like this year. I didn't know that pillowcases had those. Because I feel like all the pillowcases I've had up until this point have been just like standard open-ended ones without the pocket. So,
welcome to the 21st century, Jack.
Yes. The incredible inventions of the 21st century will boggle the mind.
Get your mind all trapped in a bottle.
Getting a big pocket inside your pillowcase.
Big ol' pocket.
Will the wonders never cease? Thank you to our sponsor, the pockets and pillowcases that keep the pillows from falling out, for sponsoring this episode of Limited Content.
Thank you indeed.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. How are you feeling right now, Sam? I know it's been quite the week for you, and it's gonna be quite the time for you coming up.
It has been quite the week. I had my last day at my old job this week. I've had it's been a good week. The way I like made it all work out with like just time off between jobs is like my last day at my old job was a Wednesday. My first day at my new job is the following Monday, so I had a 4-day weekend, and it was great. Felt good to have a 4-day weekend, it was really, really good. My last day at my job was the first day of school at the church where I was working, where I no longer work. Praise be Jesus Christ now and forever. I don't work there anymore. But so it was also like the first day of school everywhere that day. And so the next day, everyone was in school. And so we thought it would be a great idea, with the weather being nice outside that day, to go to the zoo. So we went to the zoo with Marion, and it was a lot of fun. We saw a baby giraffe. Kansas City Zoo had a baby giraffe. Like
that's amazing.
Like within the last 6 months, this giraffe was born. And like I've seen normal giraffes at the zoo. This was half the size, and it was adorable. It was very cute. It was, I mean, I say half size. It's like 6 feet tall.
Yeah, it's taller than we are.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
But it was adorable. Marion had fun. She was also overly tired because we realized about half an hour into being at the zoo that Marion's not going to get a nap today, is she? This is going to be awesome. It wasn't awesome. It was awesome enough. It was fine.
There were awesome bits and there were less awesome bits.
Yeah. The evening was rough. Just cranky toddler. But it was fine. It's just all normal toddler things. She's just overtired and doesn't know how to regulate emotions because she's 3 and she shouldn't have to do that.
Listen, I'm still learning.
Dude, same. Yeah, let alone my child. Yeah, so all that being said, my new job starts tomorrow. I'm very excited about it. My new semester also starts tomorrow. I'm less excited about that. Yeah. But it's all going to be fine. I'm only taking 2 classes this semester. Taking Calculus 2 and General Surveying. So
interesting.
Indeed. Yep. Civil engineers need to know how to survey the land. So I will generally know how to survey by the end of this class.
Will you get to learn how to use one of those triangle things, the tripod looking things that they use?
Once I do the lab for this class, I will. I'll know on paper how it works by the end of this class. Cool. I will know how to use one once I take the lab for this class.
Gotcha.
Which, since this is an online class, I'm saving all of my labs to like the very end of my time in college.
Just do them all at once.
Just do them all at once, so I can be up on campus in North Dakota, Grand Forks, North Dakota.
North Dakota.
The University of North Dakota. Go Fightin' Hawks. Yeah.
The Hawks will fight you.
They'll fight you good. Yeah. They used to be the Fightin' Sioux, like Native American Sioux tribe. They're not that anymore. Yeah.
We can't just take that for ourselves.
No. Which I don't know why they weren't I don't know. Why weren't they the Fightin' Lakota? Because it's South Dakota, and the Lakota people I don't know.
Maybe it was taken already. Maybe it was already.
I don't think so.
School no.
Or maybe the Lakota are peaceful people. I don't know enough about Native American history. School has failed me.
The fighting monks.
The fighting something. Yeah.
The fighting pacifists.
Fighting pacifists. Let's go. That's a great school name. Like school mascot.
Fighting pacifists.
Yes. I love that.
We're very indecisive the whole time. We're like, we've got our fists up, but we're kind of like, I don't know. We're, in a constant state of moral dilemma.
Is it pacifism if you don't strike first? Like, can you fight back if you don't strike first?
I feel like
you just have to just take it on the chin every single time?
I feel like there's an element of proportionality there where you're like, if they punch you, you can punch back to defend yourself, but you can't beat them to a pulp afterwards because they punched you once.
What if they attempted to beat me to a pulp?
Did they succeed?
Well, no, because I'm beating them to a pulp. That's how that works, right?
You know what? I'm gonna leave this to the philosophers in the audience. Yeah,
Cal,
you figure this out about whether we're allowed to beat people to a pulp.
Yeah,
the answer is no. By the way, to be clear,
says you.
Don't do that. Says me. Yes, says me.
You and the fighting pacifists. Come on.
Me and the fighting pacifists. That would be my. I would root for that sports team. The fighting pacifists.
I love that. That's funny.
Cool. So, schooling, mailmaning.
Yep. I've also done more X-Menning. I don't remember if I talked last week about watching X-Men First Class.
I don't think you talked about that last.
I didn't.
You told me about it, but between episodes, I think.
Oh, okay, cool. So, since the last podcast, I've watched both X-Men First Class and X-Men Days of Future Past, and my continued watch through of the Fox X-Men movies. And X-Men First Class, I think, is my favorite X-Men movie. Days of Future Past,
very good, isn't it?
Very good, but X-Men First Class, so good.
Yes.
So good. Like, Michael Fassbender as Magneto, I think is the best casting of all time for in the X-Men universe, other than Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. Would you say it's perfection?
Perfection.
Because he's in that meme?
Yeah.
He does
I prefer the real Mystique.
The real Magneto.
The real Magneto.
They're both great.
They are both great. Ian McKellen.
It's Ian McKellen, yeah.
So Ian. Acting, you shall not pass. Saying.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of great casting in those movies. Like, I mean, like getting Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique in the prequel movies is really
that was really, really good.
That was great because, I mean, she's a great actor, but it was also like fortuitous because she started those movies back when she was less of a huge deal.
That was kind of her breakout role, wasn't it? It was that, and then
it was that in the Hunger Games.
But Hunger Games came out after that.
Yeah, and then there was like
shortly after that, but after that.
Yes, I think her like kind of actual breakout role that like got her attention for the first time was Winter's Bone, I think, which is not a movie I've seen, but I just remember it.
Yeah, but no one knows that movie. Everyone knows X-Men First Class. That's like her like first like mainstream breakout role. I don't know. You know,
and I feel like her first her kind of big Oscar bait, not Oscar bait, but like her first big break where she was like getting nominations for like acting awards was Silver Linings Playbook. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know of it. I didn't know she was in it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good movie.
I believe you.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but it's fun. It's got Robert De Niro and Jennifer Lawrence, and
there it is.
That's two of them.
And there's a playbook in there, apparently.
There's some silver linings.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, agreed. Yeah, there's a lot of great casting in the X-Men movies. I mean, obviously can't go wrong with Patrick Stewart as Professor X.
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Sir.
Yes, Sir Patrick. Yeah. No, it's excellent. Yeah, I need to rewatch Days of Future Past because it's been a while. I feel like I've seen First Class like a few times, and Days of Future Past I've only seen like once maybe, but I have it, so I need to rewatch it.
Yeah,
but yeah, yeah, that's cool. Enjoying the? Are you gonna keep watching more the Fox X-Men's after this?
I think I should because I think that's where I stopped. Like when watching them when they came out was Days of Future Past.
That was kind of the last like great one other than Logan.
Logan was really good.
My understanding is that the other movies in that kind of timeline are not the other ones aren't great. Like Days of Future Past and First Class people generally love or at least like, and then there's Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix, which I don't think anybody liked from what I understand. There's also New Mutants, which is like I think part of the same universe, but it like
wasn't it Hulu or like an FX series or something?
No, it was just it was a movie, yes, and
I'm thinking like Inhumans. That's what I'm thinking.
Inhumans is different. But also Inhumans was also I was thinking
Inhumans was technically MCU.
Yeah. No, I was my brain was like when you said Inhumans, my brain thought Eternals, which is a different Marvel thing. But yes.
Yep.
The Inhumans, that was one of the like most like forgotten, most buried MCU things because it was just really, really bad.
Yeah. It was one of the most projects they've ever done.
Yeah. It was the most project.
It was certainly a project from what I understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And fun fact about that, they actually I think did the premiere of the series, like the first couple episodes or something, they had them in theaters. Like you could go to IMAX theaters to watch them. And this is like a superhero show with like an ABC sitcom budget. You're like go see it in IMAX. Like if you watched any of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's on par with that level of.
I think I watched the pilot and I was like, no.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. gets. I think it has its fans. Like its fans are very passionate, and I watched most of it. I don't think I got to the very last season, but I enjoyed it quite a bit when I did watch. Yeah,
didn't. I don't know. I think it had the like network TV budget thing in my brain. I was like, if it's action, and it's on network TV, I don't think unless it's like Smallville, I don't want to watch it because Smallville was awesome. But like,
somebody say
it was like looking back, it was really hokey. But like, I loved it.
No, it's great. Yeah, it's fun.
It also came out when I was like in 4th grade, and so it's like, hokiness be darned. I want it. This is what now.
Adult cool people like.
Yeah,
shows like this.
Yeah, there's that and Scrubs, but I do love Scrubs.
Yes, all seasons of it, all of them. You like all of them?
Yeah. There are only 7 seasons, right?
Anyway. So yeah, X-Men. That's cool. Do anything else this past week?
One other thing. My daughter is obsessed with the Muppets now. You're welcome, world.
Yes.
You're welcome. Yeah. It was about a week and a half ago. We watched Muppet Treasure Island with Marion, and she loved it. She was initially kind of scared because
understandable.
The opening scene is like intense. Like,
there's some wacky faces, some creepy guys.
Timber, shiver my soul. Yo, yeah. Yeah, it was it was scary a little bit for her. But once we were able to once we were able to get her past that, every morning for the last week and a half, she has requested Muppet Treasure Island, and then also Muppets Most Wanted.
Excellent.
Are her two favorite Muppet movies right now.
That's amazing. I need to rewatch Muppets Most Wanted. I saw it once when it came out in theaters.
I remember seeing it in theaters, thinking it was a lot of fun, but not thinking it was ever gonna be a rewatchable sort of thing. As a parent, that's one of the more rewatchable movies that my kid wants to watch. It
also gave us all the it gave us all the evil hooded Kermit memes. That's what that's from.
Did
right?
Yeah. No, it was I think it was a lot better than the Muppets reboot movie. The one that was a sequel to, the one it had Amy Adams,
Jason Segel, and Amy Adams. Yeah.
That one was fine. Muppets Most Wanted was a direct sequel to that movie, and much better movie.
I remember liking them both and feeling less enthused about the second one because it felt like a kind of a. I don't know. Maybe it was just that the first one was more exciting because there was it was a new Muppet movie for the first time in a million years. I saw the Muppets, that movie, the reboot, quote unquote reboot, in theaters at midnight.
Did you watch the midnight premiere of the Muppet reboot?
Yeah, it was me and 4 other people in the theater, but I was there. I was like, yes, give me the Muppets.
That is the most Jack Ford thing I've ever heard. Going to a midnight premiere of a Muppet movie. I love it. Yes, yeah, I think I felt similarly just because it's ooh, the Muppets are back. Love it. It's good. But I think as rewatchable movies, Muppets Most Wanted is much more rewatchable than the Muppet reboot.
Gotcha.
I think.
Yeah, both of those are movies I need to go back and watch because it's been ages since I've seen either of them. But yeah.
Very good. It's very good.
Cool. Did you know? I haven't watched it yet, but Disney Plus has a show about Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
I feel like I saw ads for that. I never watched it.
Yeah, but it's a show just about Dr. Teeth and his band, and it's a Muppets show, but just about them.
Is it good?
And I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I want to see it at some point. I feel like I vaguely remember it getting good reviews, but I didn't really look into it. I'm like, yeah, I'll watch this at some point. Definitely, this looks fun.
Yeah, at some point it's not arrived yet, but it will.
Sure. Yeah, and actually, they put out their first full album, Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, and you can get it on vinyl. And I've been
awesome.
Looking at it, and I'm like, I gotta get this, but also I should probably watch the show first.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's cool.
One other thing about Muppets Most Wanted is Brett McKenzie did all the music for it.
Yes.
Brett McKenzie of Flight of the Conchords fame.
Yeah.
And we were listening to the soundtrack in the car yesterday because Marion requested it. She wanted to listen to Muppet music, and so we put on the soundtrack for Muppets Most Wanted. And as we're kind of scrolling through the songs, there are a couple montage scenes where they'll do Muppet covers of famous songs. Miss Piggy sings the Macarena.
Cool.
They're Scooter sings a Maroon 5 song. I don't remember what song it is, but it's a Maroon 5 song.
Wait, Scooter has... I don't remember that at all.
Yes.
Scooter sang?
Scooter sang. It was Moves Like Jagger. Scooter sang Moves Like Jagger.
What?
Yeah.
That is the furthest thing from what I would expect Scooter to sing. I'm proud of him.
It was Scooter and the Penguins backing him up.
Of course.
All the Penguins.
That sounds right.
Yeah. But then after those on the soundtrack, you get all of Brett McKenzie's demos for the the music for the movie.
So it's just his New Zealander voice.
Yeah, but he like does like he does his best Muppet impressions of the Muppets for the demos. So you hear
that's great.
Like the first one is like the opening number for the movie, which is like we're doing a sequel. Or
yes,
yeah,
and it's and I think that's what it's called. Yeah,
yeah, it is.
I do love that song.
It was great, but it's Brett McKenzie doing a Kermit the Frog impression, singing that song. It's great.
That's awesome. I need to hear that. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like vaguely Kiwi Kermit the Frog. It's awesome.
Awesome. Did you see that? Just makes me want them to do the Muppets Lord of the Rings. Like that needs to be. Yes. Wouldn't it be awesome?
Okay. If you had to, so obviously like Muppet Lord of the Rings, most Muppet movies, it's like an entire Muppet cast, one human actor.
Yes.
Who's the human actor? What character do they play? And what do the rest of the Muppets play?
I think Ian McKellen is Gandalf.
Perfect. 10 out of 10, no notes.
I feel like that'd be great.
It would be great. Yes.
Just bring him back. Let him be Gandalf again, but like with a bunch of puppets. I feel like he'd be into it. I feel like he'd enjoy it.
Who is Frodo?
That's tough. I don't want to say. The obvious answer I feel like, or like the easy answer is Kermit, but I feel like
I don't think it's Kermit.
Maybe like his like nephew, whose name I forget. The
Tiny Tim frog. From.
The guy, yes, not Tiny Tim, but yes, the Muppet who quote unquote plays Tiny Tim. Yeah,
I can see it.
I can't remember his name. Hold on, I'm looking it up because Oh, it's Robin. That's his name.
Robin,
right? Yes.
Yeah,
I can see Robin being a good Frodo.
Sure.
I'm trying to think of who else. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's another movie series I need to rewatch. Is Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Because did I tell you how the only time I've ever watched them is the extended editions all in a row with my friends. Like
I was at home. I was at home that day.
School.
I was at home that day. I remember that.
We didn't watch it at our place. We watched it at a friend's house.
Oh.
So
you watched the Star Wars trilogy. Was it the original Star Wars trilogy?
We did all 6 of the movies that were out at the time.
Okay. I just remember like you guys got there at like breakfast time and like ordered pizza twice or something. Like
yeah, we did that, and then the following year we did Lord of the Rings.
Okay, got it.
And I at a friend's house, and I enjoyed that a lot.
Did you watch the extendeds?
Yes,
you had to.
Did. Yeah. I brought my extended editions Blu-ray box set that I'd gotten on sale.
Nice.
I got still that. One of the
I got that for Sarah for her birthday this year. Because I've never seen the extended editions, and it's been a long time since I watched Lord of the Rings, and she's been giving me a hard time for a couple years now about the fact that I've just like not watched the Lord of the Rings extended editions. To which I respond, but I've read the books, so like, what have you done?
Take that.
Yeah, because she hasn't read the books, so I haven't finished the books, but I read 2.5 of them, so there. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
2.5.
2.5.
2.5 plus the Hobbit.
Plus the Hobbit, like 8 times. I do love the Hobbit.
Yeah. I got it like on sale like back in high school. It was like it's usually, I think at the time it was like $100 to get the whole extended editions on Blu-ray box set, but I got it for like $40, and
that's what it is on Amazon like all the time now.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous, like, just the box is so nice.
Yeah.
And
did you get like a nice like collector's edition kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean that's the only. I guess if there's a newer, here, I'll just grab it.
Yeah,
hold on.
We're doing a sequel. We're back by popular demand. Come on, everybody, strike up the band. We're doing a sequel. Jack, you're going to be listening to this when you're editing the episode. You're not going to know that I just sang you a Muppet song, but you're welcome. I do it because I love you. You're coming back with Lord of the Rings box set. Oh, that's definitely considered mine. I'm back. Hi, I was definitely silent the whole time you were gone.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I definitely won't hear it when I edit this episode. This is it. This is the like what they originally released it in.
That's so much nicer.
It's shiny and gold. Yes, it opens up and it's got a map of Middle Earth.
Oh wow!
And pictures of the people, and then you take it out and it's split into 3 like nice thick like black shiny. It's got like the list of all of the different appendices on it. That's
nice.
Like, the Lord of the Rings like behind the scenes stuff, which they call the appendices, are it's some of the best like behind the scenes filmmaking stuff ever
Sweet.
put out. It's so cool. I love watching these.
Nice. I feel like there's a lot of the behind the scenes stuff on the version that I got, but the packaging is much more basic.
Yeah, I assume it's like this is what it was for a long time, and then they like put out a value.
Yeah, version. I think it's a value version. It just kind of looks like what you would expect to get like if you got like a season of a TV show on DVD. Sure. That kind of quality. Which
like
nice.
Kind of paper sleeve sort
it's got
of
paper sleeve. Yeah. Paper sleeve for all 3 boxes go into one paper sleeve.
But yeah, I just like holding this. It's so hefty and nice and shiny and cool.
It's
and I like
real
it.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, I need to rewatch those. I at some point I want to like sit down and watch probably just the theatrical editions, but like, you know, one at a time. Yeah. To give them like some breathing room so I can actually like process these movies, because it's everything I remember from those movies is kind of a blur. Sure. Like I've seen them, but because I watched them in one sitting, it kind of blends together into this fugue state in my brain. And I'm like I don't actually know much about Lord of the Rings and the plot. Like I remember the basic beats and the main characters and everything, but they're like, you know, details that people will reference from Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, I've seen those movies, I just don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Got it. Yeah.
You know, I need to go back and watch these at some point. Yeah. Yep.
Nice. Hey, what have you been up to this week?
What have I been up to?
Yeah, you.
Let's see. I got a chair.
A chair.
Do you want to see this? I got a chair. There was my next door neighbor who I've never spoken to them, but they put a chair out in front of their door with a free sign on it. Cool. And I was like, this looks like a nice-ish chair. I'll take that. So actually, I've been wanting like a chair to sit in for practicing my guitar, because my current like my desk chair has like arms on it.
Armrests are not good for playing guitar.
Yeah, and so I was just using like some folding chairs, but they're not. It's not super comfy. Right. Then I got this. It appeared next to my apartment, and I took it. And this is not going to be an easy thing to show you because it's a chair. But there it is.
Nice wooden chair with a soft seat.
Nice, with a nice green soft seat and a rounded back up here.
That is nice.
I got it. I was like, oh, this will be nice. Hopefully it's not like, you know, in bad shape or anything. So I brought it in. I sat down on it, and I was like, this is maybe the nicest wooden chair I've ever sat in. Like, the most comfortable. It's like it's like the seat is tilted back just enough to where like you kind of sink back into it, but not so much that it's like you're not sitting up. You're not reclining. You're just really comfy and and it's just like, I get, for me in particular, it's like the exact right size and shape for my body. So I was like, I molded into it, and it feels perfect.
That sounds like a really nice chair. What do you know? Is it like a brand of chair?
I don't even know if it has like a. Let me look at the bottom.
I'm just curious now.
Yeah. Noble House Home Furnishings LLC, Chatsworth, California.
Oh, it's one of those fancy California chairs.
100% polyester.
100% California. It's Cali, bro.
100% California.
California.
Yeah. So I got a chair.
Nice.
Here's the thing I got, not this past week, I think a couple weeks ago, but I saw it when I went out there to get the Lord of the Rings set, and I was like, oh, this is neat. I should tell Sam about this. Can you tell what this is by looking at it? Probably not, but
not at all. No, it's
okay.
It's like a case for something.
That is what it looks like, but it's not. So I'm holding up. It's like about the size of my hand, a little bit smaller. A like green, sort of egg-shaped plastic object. Yeah. With a little slit in the side. This is a label maker. It's a Bluetooth label maker that you connect to your phone, and I got it for like $10-15 on Amazon because I've been wanting a label maker to like label stuff. And I got it, and it comes out of you.
So yeah, cool.
So I haven't started labeling much stuff yet, but I'm like, one of these days I'm just gonna go on a labeling frenzy and
just like
label everything.
Yeah, just like put like chair on your new chair, microphone yes. on the microphone,
just in case I forget what things are called. Yeah. You know,
Jack.
Yeah, put it on myself. I had to label myself or else I was gonna forget. Yeah. I got So I got that, and I have a like a little pill organizer that has the it's got letters on it for like the days of the week, right? But they have chipped off very quickly, like the letters. So I initially I went on it with Sharpie, and it was kind of hard to read on it because it's like a black thing.
Did you get silver Sharpie? Yeah, silver Sharpie.
I didn't, but it's also like it's like clear black, so it's not like. And also it started coming off anyway, and so then I got the label maker and I just labeled them all individually, and it's very nice and bold and nice looking.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom. That's what I always say. That's what I'm known for saying.
I have heard you say that before, just now.
Just now, yeah. Like as in, for example, this time that I just said it, and also
yes.
10 seconds ago when I said it. Yeah. Yeah. That, and then I feel like the past week or two, it's just kind of been like I haven't had a lot of. I feel like I felt very busy and I've been doing a lot of things, but nothing that's like interesting enough to talk about on a podcast for the most part. There's one thing though I want to talk about. So you remember my little Game Boy thing, my Game Boy that's not a Game Boy?
Yeah, with the Bible game.
Yes, with the Bible game, the most important video game.
Yes.
Yeah. So my Miu Mini Plus, I've talked about this on the podcast before. It's a nice little like Linux-based handheld for emulating retro games. Very nice. My friend Danny, who is the one person I know who has more like video game hardware than I do.
Wow.
Yeah. I was talking to Dan the other day about that I was going over to Danny's to hang out with some friends. And I was like, yeah, we usually go there because he's got all the video games and stuff. And he was like, well, do you ever like bring them over to your place? Because you've got a lot of video games. I'm sure it'd be, like they'd love to come over there and play your stuff because you've got a big collection. And I'm like, listen, 99 times out of 100, you'd be right that I have the largest collection among people. But Danny has like 3 times as many consoles as I do. Dang. And his apartment is like literally it's turning into a museum of game hardware.
Wow.
He like collects stuff.
Yeah.
So he has the most video game things. Like in most contexts, I would be the one who has the most video game things. Like that's a reasonable assumption to make.
Yeah.
But it was just funny to me that it was like, you'd be right normally. But
yeah, but there's always a bigger fish. So
exactly. Thank you, Qui-Gon. But yeah, the reason I bring it up is because Danny introduced me to a handheld that he got. It's another similar sort of handheld, but it's different. It's like instead of a sort of classic Game Boy look, it's a clamshell design. So
like
it
DSP.
folds on, yes. And Danny had one, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I started thinking about it more, and I was like, I kind of want one too. I got one.
You did? Oh
yes.
my gosh.
Yeah. So there are a couple of reasons why this is not just a splurge purchase for no reason. First of all, number one, it's pretty cheap. Even all things considered, even if it was just a splurge purchase, it's like $50 on AliExpress, and I paid for 40 of that with cashback rewards that I had. So it was one of those I've got a little bit of extra spending money right now. Might as well use it. The other reasons are because it's a clamshell design, I feel more comfortable actually taking it places and putting it in my pocket and stuff because it protects the screen.
Indeed.
As opposed to this one where it's like this one came with a carrying case, which is very nice, but it's also
it's nice.
With the carrying case, it's too bulky to have pocket. So I just put it in my backpack usually, and it's I like this. It's great, but it's not I end up not using it as much as I would like to because it feels like something that I want to take care of and not get scratched or anything.
Sure.
Whereas this, it's it's a clamshell design, so it's kind of designed for protecting the buttons and the screen and everything. That's number one, and then number two is it has Bluetooth and HDMI out, so I can actually use it as a home console too. So I have basically a retro home console with me anywhere I go that is also a handheld. And
sorry, my cat's meowing.
This is it. Your cat's meowing.
Yeah, it's Jeej. It's Jeej.
Hey, Jeej.
Come here, Jeej. Do you have anything to say to the podcast people? She's purring. It'll probably come through in the recording.
Yeah, I can't hear it right now through Discord.
Discord does like to filter those things out.
Yeah, thank you for the purring, Jeej.
Thanks, Jeej.
Jeej. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, this is the... some of these consoles have decent names, like the Miu Mini Plus, which is the one that I had before. It's like an easy name to remember.
Yes.
This is the Anbernic RG35XXSP is the name of this. But it's anyway, this is it. It's clear blue, and it's a Game Boy Advance SP, basically.
It looks exactly like a Game Boy Advance SP.
Yes.
If you told me that was a Game Boy Advance SP with like X and Y buttons, I would have just believed you.
Yeah, that is exactly what it is, basically. And so I spent like the last... I got it yesterday. It came in the mail after like a week, which is like... I was talking to my friends about this earlier, about like Amazon and Target and like, 2-day shipping and curbside pickup and stuff has like totally spoiled me, because I was like, I have to wait a week for something to arrive.
I know.
This is agonizing. But it was worth it. I spent the last like part of yesterday and a good chunk of today getting it all set up properly, and I've got it like configured how I want, and I've got all the games on it that I want, and it looks super nice. And I love it. And I tried plugging it into the TV and using it as a home console, and it works great that way too.
Nice.
Just, like, plug it in, and it's got a mini HDMI out. So I bought like an adapter basically to adapt from mini HDMI to regular size. But that was cheap, and yeah, it's very pretty. It's a nice translucent blue. It's a very like I was kind of like not sure if I was gonna like the color, but now that I'm seeing it in person, I'm like, oh, I love this. Actually, this is great. So yeah, so it's excellent. It's got like all the menus, got all the games on it, got all the things. It's cool, it's fun.
It's so fun. And, I saw some Sanic on there.
There's some Sanic, of course. There's Sanic. Here, let me show you some of these. I love one of the things I love about this hobby about game emulation is all different ways you can customize your experience. So there are different kind of bezels and overlays and things and filters that you can basically use to customize how the game looks, and kind of so like, for example, when you're playing a Game Boy game, do you want it to look like just pixel perfect black and white whatever, or do you want it to look like you're playing it on an original Game Boy with like the like yellow green tints to it, or do you want it to look like a Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Color, or
Nice.
things like that? And so you can like add different like LCD display filters on it, so it looks like you're playing it on an older screen. So for example, this is I'll pull up a Tetris on the Game Boy. This is riveting, I'm sure, for our listeners on this audio form. Is Gigi just messing? What's Gigi doing? She
wants me to hold her like a baby, so that's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, cool.
Being desperate for attention.
Yeah, the past 5 minutes, Sam has been like looking at the ground and messing with Gigi or something, or trying to keep her at bay.
Oh yeah, because she's like been just like putting her paws up on my leg and just yowling for pets, and so just like been petting her nonstop for the last 5 minutes, getting her to shut up.
Recording right now. This is for two brothers to hang out more, not for two brothers and a cat to hang out. Come on, Gigi.
Yeah, Gigi.
It's not the premise of the podcast. Anyway, yeah. So I've got this is the.
I hear Tetris.
The way I've got my Game Boy set up, so you can see like it's got like a little Game Boy like logo on the side, and then the little light that you have.
It's got the power light. That's so fun.
And then I've got it in like black and white. It's meant to look like the Game Boy Pocket, because I like the way that looks.
Nice.
And it's got a little bit of a filter over it, so it's like it looks a little. It's like still crisp, but it looks a little bit more like the original screen.
Yeah.
And then there's one for like the Game Boy. When you play Game Boy Advance games on it, you can have it so that they put a little bit like a little strip at the bottom that just has the Game Boy Advance SP logo on it, so it looks exactly like it would on an actual SP.
Yes.
Which is great. And then when you it's a 4:3 ratio display on the device.
Yeah.
But when you like plug it into your TV, which all TVs these days are
like 69
widescreen, there's space on either side, so you can have it set up to where there's like bezels on either side that have like you know, it'll make it look like if you're playing an NES game, it'll have like the NES logo on either side or something like that. You know, little extra things like that. And yeah, it's a fun hobby to be into. It's fun to just kind of like get a device and tinker with it and get it exactly how you want it, and then just have a thing that you can take with you anywhere to just pick up and play games at any point. Because like part of the what's nice about it is, you know, because it's a clamshell thing, whenever I'm just like, I don't have to like go into sleep mode or anything. I can just close it, and then it's, you know,
I love that.
It pauses, and it's great.
Yeah.
And
when you do like the TV mode, can you like connect a controller to it?
Yes, it has Bluetooth, so I synced one of my controllers to it. My 8BitDo SM30 Pro controller. I synced that up, which is it's like a Super Nintendo controller with sticks, basically.
I'm eventually gonna get one of those. I like that a lot. But
yeah, it's great. It's a great controller. But yeah, it's a little bit finicky sometimes because you have to like change the controller port when you start on the TV, because it's like you have to tell it that like, I'm no longer using the controls on the device. I'm using this as the player one controller now. So it's like, it's not quite an automatic thing, but it still works pretty well, and it's easy and it's good, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I like this a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I spent the last couple days doing. I also did a small repair to the 3D printer I got. I talked about the 3D printer on the podcast, right?
Yeah, you mentioned that you got one.
Yeah, so I got a free 3D printer a while back, and it's been just kind of sitting
what the heck?
in my living room for a bit. Because there's like, the power supply came like detached, and I was like, this doesn't look quite right, and I was like trying to figure out how to put it back on, and I realized the reason I couldn't get it back on is because when, you know, whoever had it first assembled it, one of the like structural beams they put in upside down, so I had to like partially disassemble it, rotate it, and put it back in, and then get a couple of like screws and attach and everything. So I was like, I don't want to turn on this 3D printer with the power supply sitting on the top of this wooden table that I've got it on top of. I need this to be assembled before I do anything with it. So it is theoretically like ready to go now. I just need to actually figure out how it works. Like you have to like calibrate it and like level the printing bed and stuff like that. I don't know the details of that, but I have their tutorials that I just need to watch, sit down, and you know, so that'll be fun. So a lot of little hobbies that I'm kind of messing with right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I've been up to.
Sweet. Jack, is there any good news in the world of Star Wars?
Good news, no. Unfortunately.
Dang it.
Because the biggest piece of Star Wars news in the last week is that the Acolyte was canceled.
What the hell?
Which is such a bummer. It's hard to like talk about like streaming shows getting canceled, because it's like you don't have numbers about things about like viewership in the same way that you do for like actual like live televised stuff,
right,
or, you know, stuff on the networks. Because you know, Disney Plus and Netflix and whatever, they usually don't really release their streaming like viewership numbers or anything, and so we just kind of have to, you know, guess at like how many people watched this. We don't really know. We can look at the reviews and look at like what the, you know, the reception was online. But oftentimes, you know, what people say online is like, it's, you hear the loudest people and not necessarily the majority.
Right.
You know, so it's like, you know, who knows exactly why or how this happened, but like, it's a bummer regardless, because this is a cool show with a lot of really cool ideas, and definitely had a lot of like, they were clearly like leaning into a like, there's going to be a season 2 for this.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Everything about the show was like, it ended on like the finale had 2 big like reveal cliffhangers.
Yeah, like, there are like 5 things that were like, what's happening? What's happening here?
Like,
what's going to happen next?
Yeah, because like you had May's brain got wiped. Darth Plagueis showed up.
Yes.
And then
that's a big deal.
And then we had like Yoda making a Nick Fury cameo at the end.
Yes.
But like as the villain.
Yeah, because Venestra goes to him. Which is another thing. It's like Madame Venestra was going to go.
Yeah. Oh, and the Chancellor showed up, and it was like this like this actor that I've
Right.
seen like in a bunch of stuff, and I never remember his name, but just like very like suave, intimidating black man. Forget his name.
Yeah,
But that's
a good description.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me look him up real quick.
Yeah. I think he's British too, which like lends to the. If I remember, it's been like a month and a half since I watched it, and he was in one scene.
Let's see, Chancellor Drellick. Nope, that's. Hold on. No, it's not. It's not.
Was he a senator?
That's. Yeah, because it's Senator Rayencourt is who you're thinking of. Yeah. 'Cause Chancellor Relic is like an alien. Okay, let's see.
right.
Like I said, let me Google this guy. Hold on. He is played by actor David Harewood. Let me look at his Wikipedia real quick. He was in Homeland. He played Martian Manhunter in Supergirl.
Oh.
The Supergirl TV show. He was in a Doctor Who episode. He was in the game Battlefield 3. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything where I'm like, oh yeah, it's that guy. But I'm like, he has one of those faces where it's like, I've seen this guy, right? I've seen this guy before.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. And I was like,
Yeah.
it's going to be good wherever he's in. That's the vibes I'm getting.
Yes.
But yeah, it was like, it's just such a huge bummer the way that this whole like thing went down with the Acolyte, because it kind of like the news dropped out of nowhere. The news dropped on Manny Jacinto's birthday, like,
which is rough. Jeez.
yeah,
Yeah.
and there was no like official like. Disney never said it. It was all just leaks that Disney never like denied, but everything that Disney's done since then has only kind of like lent credence to those rumors, right? Like they took all of the Acolyte merch off of the Disney online store.
Yeah. So
Like
that's the other thing. about
Why
this.
would you do that?
Yeah, there's no longer any merch on the Disney shop online. You can't buy Acolyte stuff anymore, which some people are wondering, like, does this mean that are they going to try and take this off of Disney Plus? Because that's something that has happened historically on streaming services and on Disney Plus before. Yes, so yeah, the Willow like sequel series, I think. They did a series that's a sequel to the movie Willow, and I guess it didn't do well, and so then they just took it off the streaming service, because that's a thing that streaming services have started doing basically as like a tax write-off. They were like, this was a failure, so we're going to write it off, so we're going to take it off the streaming service. And that's happened with some other shows too, on like Max and probably Netflix.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, it's
financially advantageous.
Yeah. I mean, like from that perspective, I don't.
It sucks. It's awful.
So dumb, and it's such an insult to the artists and to the fans. Like, especially the artists, but like as a fan, I'm insulted. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah, I'm frustrated certainly, and I can't imagine like being, one of the people who were part of like a team of hundreds who put years of work into this show, and now they're just people just can't watch it anymore. Like, I mean,
and like,
we don't know if that's gonna happen
and
with
like,
the Acolyte, but
and like a lot of the Acolyte actors have been like confirmed for like Star Wars Celebration Japan next year.
That's
right.
Yeah,
like Manny Jacinto is like going to be headlining, like he's going to be doing what Hayden Christensen did like 2 years ago, right? Like be like in like one of those big like keynote conversations. And that's not something you do for like somebody who's a one and done actor. Like 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 no offense, but the guy who played Han Solo in Solo, he isn't going to get one of those kind of things. What?
Alden Ehrenreich?
Yeah. He's not going to get one of those kind of conversations, but like somebody who's like you're investing the franchise into is going to get one of those things, right?
Yeah.
And so like Manny's getting that, but you took away his season 2 on his birthday.
Yeah.
You
like,
jerks.
Geez. That's man.
Yeah.
I that's rough.
And like the actress who plays May and Osha, Amanda, I don't remember her last name.
Amanda Stenberg?
Stenberg, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, Stenberg,
but she's like a huge Star Wars fan before she was in Star Wars. Like, she would go to like Comic-Con dressed as like Padme, and like she like had like a perfect like cosplay of like Padme from Attack of the Clones, like the last like battle scene. Like, it was incredible. And like, and then she also like is a musician, and like played the Binary Sunset theme like in some of like the
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Like John Williams like arranged a specific arrangement of the Binary Sunset theme for her to play for the like promo for the Acolyte. Right? They've invested a lot of Star Wars into these actors, and then to just like, I don't know, the only like, there was a lot of like, the majority of the negative criticism I've seen has just been from people who like had decided to hate it before it came out, because because like it had a female protagonist, it had like people of like almost entirely a cast of people of color, right? There were like the main characters like had two moms, like there was like, it was all like, I don't know, like it's just and like all of that, like the fandom menace like poisoned the show for a lot of people. Like a lot of like casual fans didn't watch it because they heard a lot of like diehard quote unquote fans like say this is going to be terrible, don't watch it. And so a lot of like and they and Disney never like stood up for its actors in this show like they did for Obi-Wan with Moses Ingram, because she was getting a ton of online hate, and like Ewan McGregor came on like Instagram Live and did like this big like video just like, hey, I'm really proud of the work we've done, I work with some amazing actors, and if you like are using racism or misogyny to like shit on actors, like you don't belong in the fandom, like you don't deserve to be a Star Wars fan. Like he came out and said that, and like Disney did nothing for the cast and crew of the Acolyte. Nothing.
It's so that's part of what's so frustrating about it, is because like you said, so many of the people involved in the behind the scenes of this, in the making of the show, were very clearly like diehard Star Wars fans before they ever got to do anything with Star Wars. Like if you look at the showrunner Leslie Headland, she like, if you watch any interviews with her, she is so clearly such an incredibly passionate and knowledgeable person when it comes to Star Wars.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
She's like, you know, like we already talked about how can't remember his name. Yord. Yeah. Yord as a character was a character from one of her like tabletop role-playing Star Wars campaigns that she ran. Yeah. Like that's like the fact, like that's so cool to me. And like you said, like Amanda
normal
Stenberg
people don't do that. Diehard fans do that.
Yes, like these are people who are like so passionate about this series and about this universe, and they love it, and they're, you know, coming at it from a perspective and a place of love and wanting to make something really good. And so to see it being, you know, to be, you know, canned so quickly, and also just to see how much of the conversation around this show got muddled by just racism and sexism and homophobia and whatever, like, is so frustrating. It's especially frustrating because it's like we don't get a lot of, I mean, you know, they've done better in recent years, definitely, with like having more diverse casts and diverse like behind the scenes crews working on Star Wars stuff. But like this show is like you said, it's you know, stars mostly people of color and women, and it's run by the showrunner is a woman, and it's like we're getting all this like representation that is desperately needed, and that a lot of people really desire and want and need, and yet, you know, it just, everything gets buried under the garbage of it. And also like you were saying like how people, a lot of the kind of the hatred for the show, or a lot of the loudest like criticism of it, came from people who decided to hate it beforehand, and I think that's true. But also I think there are some people who, you know, once they got to the point in the show where they realized, oh, the Jedi aren't the good guys in this, I think that's made a lot of people mad too, which is frustrating to me because like that's one of the most exciting things to me about this show.
Yeah,
is that like the Jedi aren't the, you know, like what frustrated me the most about that is seeing people online act as if, you know, Leslie Headland or this show is like misunderstanding Star Wars. They're ruining Star Wars because they're treating the Jedi as bad guys. But I'm like, did you watch the prequels? That's the point of the prequels.
Yeah.
Is that the Jedi are flawed, and this is the origins of that. That's what this show is about. It's about corruption, and it's about, as they say in the show, power and who gets to wield it. And I thought they did such a good job of driving home that point, and I just think there's so much more room for exploring those themes and those ideas, and we won't get that now. And I feel it's especially frustrating because I would have loved to see, like, now that they have this kind of, they had season 1 to kind of figure things out, and I would have wanted to see like a season 2. I feel like would have been a stronger season because they've, you know, had the experience of going through one season and getting to,
like, when have you ever seen a show that was really good that had an amazing season 1?
True.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, it's rare.
Some of my favorite shows had terrible first seasons, like The Office. Oh my gosh, it was bad. Like Parks and Rec, bad. Scrubs, bad. Like
arguably the Clone Wars, like not great. Season 1,
like the Clone Wars movie. Oh gosh, yeah, you know, like that.
They put that in
that was like that was season 0 of Clone Wars, and it was not great. And also, like, if I feel like if the Clone Wars, I saw someone else say this, I can't take credit for this idea, but like if the Clone Wars came out now, it wouldn't survive a first season.
Yeah,
you know, but like
people get mad. People get mad about, like, the Clone Wars already had a, like, it's moment of misogynists getting mad about something because Ahsoka was introduced by the Clone Wars, and there was, of course, you know, infamously the backlash against her as a character, and now she's a beloved character, but that, you know, that's 7 seasons later, and it's just, I can't help but just think about what it would have been like if the Acolyte had been given the same room to breathe and the same amount of time to, like, garner a fan base,
right?
Like, or
even if, like, they had more than 8 episodes to do something, right? If they had, if they didn't have to cram it into this, like why do streaming shows only have like 8 to 12 episodes? Like, I
think part of it is that, I mean, when you're making a show that's like clearly this high budget, like, you know, the cost per episode goes up a lot. You know, they're like, we want to make a show that looks pretty much as good as the movies do, and that's going to cost a lot per episode, and so we're going to limit it to this number of episodes, and if it catches on, then we'll give it another season. That's what I assume the attitude is.
But I mean, I get that. I don't know. I just, like, I don't know, like, shows used to have a lot more time to breathe and, like, find their footing, and you're expecting, like, if you're expecting 10s out the gate, you're never going to get that all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
They wanted another Mandalorian, you know, which, I mean, of course, that's what they always want. Is they want something that's immediately, like, people fall in love with it and has merchandising potential, and, you know, but it's, but, like,
I think, but the Darth Teeth helmet sold out immediately.
That's did it? I actually didn't know that they made merch.
It was like,
that's awesome.
It was like, I think it was like the Hot Toys replica, like, but it was like, but I think Hasbro put out one too, and it also, like, sold out really fast.
God. I'm not, like, I'm definitely not in love with the Acolyte as a show, but, like, there's so many cool things about it and so many amazing ideas, and I just, it's just such a shame that we're not going to see where it goes from here, because there's just, like, there was so much like exciting like story and ideas left on the table here, and characters that we, you know, could have more of a chance to get to know. And my guess is that eventually we'll get the rest of this story in some form, probably in a comic book or a novel or something. But I, of course, prefer to actually, you know, to give these actors and this crew and, you know, the chance to keep going with this. But and my part of my frustration with it is, obviously, we never really know why something gets canceled. We never know, like, you know, all of the reasoning or the financial reasoning or the politics or whatever that goes on behind the scenes that leads to a show getting canceled. But like, part of me is like, you know, I can't help but imagine that a lot of the loud, the noisy backlash against this show from, you know, the noisiest, worst parts of the fandom gave Disney, like, at the very least, gave them a good excuse to cancel this.
Yeah.
As a, you know, like, you know, yeah, it's just, yeah.
I mean, like, from a business perspective, like, I mean, I guess I get it, but just like, I feel like we should have more fans in charge of business decisions, and we should care more about like putting out a quality product than like appeasing stockholders. But
yeah, and supporting the artists that you're, you know, like, yeah, like respect your artists, respect the people who make the things that make you money, and even if it doesn't, like, you know, not everything's going to be a hit, not everything's going to be a huge success, and I think it's just so like rude and disrespectful to be like, I mean, I know this hasn't necessarily happened with the Acolyte, but like to have like shows being taken down after they've been shot, and like, you know, like it's just so yeah. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen here.
Yeah,
but like, yeah, maybe in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, we'll get a like bring back the Acolyte campaign, and like there'll be who knows.
I don't know. I wonder, like, I just want Star Wars deserves an Acolyte season 2. And I don't know, but like, I feel like we're probably not going to get it. And if we do, if we get any sort of Acolyte TV something, it's going to be an animated spinoff, I think, which I'd be happy with. But not as happy as like getting Mandy and Amandla back on in front of a camera, like, and Darth Plagueis, and like, I don't know, it's just like, it stinks.
Yeah. Maybe they like that's an interesting thought. Like, maybe the next, like, you know, Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire type thing could be an anthology series following these characters again, or something.
Yeah, I saw somebody online suggested Tales of the Sith, and it follow Khmer and Darth Plagueis. Which would be cool, but you know what else would be cool? Be a lot cooler.
Acolyte
season 2. Come on.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
Well, that's a bummer, but you know, what are you gonna do?
You know what else is a bummer? Obi-Wan died.
Oh, right. I was like, hold on, what? I was like, oh, right, yeah, that happened in the episode that we watched.
Right. Yeah.
Oh no, Obi-Wan Kenobi died in the Clone Wars. The character who is famously died in the most famous movie ever made that takes place 20, 30 years later or whatever. Like
20. It's 20 BBY.
20, something like that. I don't remember things. I don't remember words.
It's 20 years before the Battle of Yavin. The Battle of Yavin is
it's
a new hope.
When,
that is a new hope.
Yeah, I know. I'm just, Anyway, point is, it's just always funny to me when
a new hope is Star Wars Christmas, Jack. It's Star Wars Christmas, not Star Wars Christmas special. It's Star Wars Christmas because you got BC and
Star Wars Christmas.
A New Hope because you have BC and AD, BBY, ABY.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was like, where are you going with this? I don't understand what your logic
That's
is
one
here,
of those jokes that I feel like the only person who got that immediately was Dad. And like everyone else. Because
that is a very like, there's like 3 connections missing that the rest of us didn't hear, but like if your brain happened to have the same firing of synapses in that moment, you're like, oh no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah. Dad appreciated my joke.
Look, Dad.
Or he wasn't paying attention. I don't know. Who knows? I have faith in you, Dad. I think you got it. You'll hear this a month from now, and you'll let me know if you got it. I won't remember that I said this joke a month from now, but here we are.
Cool.
You'll just text me. You'll just text me like, "Hey, I got the joke." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then I'll listen to it. I'm like, "Oh, that great,
cool, yeah."
Yeah.
Well, Sam, what are we talking about this week?
This week we're talking about the Clone Wars, Season 4, Episodes 15 and 16, Deception and Friends and Enemies. This is the first part of a 4-episode arc of the Clone Wars that goes 15 through 18. Is that how numbers work? That's how numbers work. Great.
Yes.
Cool. The first episode is called Deception. This episode takes place in 20 BBY.
Deception.
And the moral of this episode is we need more Saw Gerrera, but the real moral of this episode is all warfare is based on deception. Lies.
Deception.
Deception.
Is that not, like,
every day.
That's a quote
more
from something,
lies.
right? Like that's like a phrase that somebody in reality said. All warfare is based on deception, right? Here, I'm googling this. Hold on. Yeah, it's Sun Tzu. In the Art of War. Sun Tzu.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Great, cool.
All war is based on deception. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I was like, I've heard that somewhere, right? That's not like... They didn't come up with that.
That's like
I don't think.
that's like one of the big things from that book is that and like know your enemy or keep your enemies like friends close, enemies closer. Isn't that from?
I don't know.
I've never read
do
it.
I look like the kind of person who's read Sun Tzu, Sam?
Do this person know how to read? No. Come on. Anyway. All right. Boundary offense. A terrorist threat. Moralo Eval, mastermind of a separatist plot to kidnap Chancellor Palpatine, has been captured by Republic forces. But even with the criminal behind bars, rumors swirl in the underworld of Coruscant that Moralo's plot has already been set in motion. With precious time running out, the Jedi Council hatches their own plot to keep the Chancellor safe. You know, as I'm reading this, like, the Admiral Yularen thing, I feel like there are a lot simpler, more straightforward, surefire ways that the Jedi could have, like, foiled this plot. Like...
They needed to do something that was as convoluted as possible, Sam.
Most notably,
that's how it works.
They could have just killed Moralo Eval, and that would have just been it. Or, like, I don't know, shipped him off to the Outer Rim somewhere. Like, just throw him in the spice mines of Kessel. I don't know, something. But instead, we have this.
Instead, we get a fun episode.
We get with 4 fun episodes.
Moralo Eval. I like his voice.
He's great.
It's another silly villain with a fun voice.
Yep. Same species as the other silly villain with a fun voice.
I was thinking, yeah, like, did we...
I had to double take to, like, I was like, wait, he died. Oh, it's a different guy.
Yeah.
It's just, we know 2 people from Star Wars with this voice, and they're both the same species.
Okay, yeah, I was like... Yeah, they're literally the same species. That's cool.
Yeah.
I was like, he looks like when this episode started. I was like, wait, have we seen this character before? And it was like, no, we haven't. I remember this guy, but yeah, no, he's same species as O.C. Sobek, and yeah,
I love
Sobek and Moralo Eval.
O.C. Sobek. I like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and Ahsoka Tano.
Anakin Skywalker
are taking a walk through the streets of Coruscant as one does, when a sniper opens fire on them. The Jedi dodge the shots, and Obi-Wan and Anakin take to the roof to chase after the sniper. When Obi-Wan moves out into the open, the sniper hits him, and he falls into an alley below, seemingly killing him. Just a sidebar. Like, obviously Anakin and Ahsoka don't see this, but we, the audience, see Obi-Wan very clearly, like, I'm gonna step in front of this bullet. Like,
yeah, he's like bracing himself. You can see it. Yeah, he braces. Yeah, he's like hiding behind a thing up on top of a roof, and he's like, okay, and he like breathes for a second, and then just kind of slowly walks out onto the roof in the open, and then gets shot and falls off the roof. Yeah, but yeah, that's a detail that, like, I don't think I ever noticed the first time I watched it because I didn't know what was gonna happen in the episode. But now looking back at it, I'm like, oh yeah, he totally knew. Yep. You can tell. Yeah.
A Jedi funeral is held for Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka begins to worry for Anakin, who has become withdrawn and grim. Ahsoka says that Anakin literally has not spoken since Obi-Wan is quote-unquote killed. Meanwhile, the assassin, a bounty hunter named Rako Hardeen, celebrates his victory. It is revealed that it was all a plan made by Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Mace Windu, who decided to fake Obi-Wan's death so he could pretend to become a member of a looming separatist plot to kidnap Palpatine. Kenobi then undergoes a facial transformation via nanotechnology to disguise himself as Hardeen, captures his would-be assassin as he prepares to collect his reward from his employer, again Kenobi, and completes his disguise with a voice emulator droid and a voice sample from Hardeen. Anakin and Ahsoka, who have not been made aware of the plan in order to assure its success, track down Hardeen's location and arrest the disguised Obi-Wan, ferrying him to the Republic jail.
I just want to say, when they do his face thing, first of all, they shave hhis head completely first, and it's so weird seeing Obi-Wan with no hair on his face at all, other than his eyebrows. It's so weird. It's weird. This makes me uncomfortable somehow.
Yeah.
And then when they do the facial reconstruction thing, they just basically inject something in his neck, and then his face kind of bubbles until it reforms into that.
Yeah.
It reminded me very much of the polyjuice potion.
That's what I was thinking.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
very
it
similar
looked like to me.
Look. And then they basically train this AI droid on Hardeen's voice. And then Obi-Wan...
They deepfake his voice.
They deepfake his voice, and then Obi-Wan swallows this droid. And then he has Hardeen's voice, which I didn't look this up, so I don't know if it's true, but is that Freddie Prinze Jr. as Racco Hardeen? Because
that's a good question. It does sound kind of like him. Let me look up. Hold on. Behind the scenes. It's James Arnold Taylor. So he did both the voices. That's actually kind of impressive. Because I did not think it was. I did not think it was him. I was like,
I thought it was Freddie Prinze Jr.
It does sound quite a bit like him. Now that you mention it, I didn't pick that up, but no, I totally hear it.
Yeah,
but no, apparently it's him, which is super impressive because I was thinking as I was watching the episode, I was like, I wonder who voices this, because it's not James Arnold Taylor, right? Because it's he sounds way too it sounds like a different person completely. Usually when I hear a different character voiced by James Arnold Taylor, I can be like, oh, I hear that's James Arnold Taylor.
Right.
But for this one, it was I could not tell at all.
Right.
So that's impressive.
Yeah, I've started playing this game with myself where I'm watching any of Marion shows. I'm like, oh, that's Jim Cummings. I know that's Jim Cummings immediately. Yeah. Yes. So I feel like I'm pretty good at picking out voice actors, but no, James Arnold Taylor, he bested me.
He's one of the greats.
He's one of the greats.
Certainly.
Well done. All right. Facial transformation, would-be assassin, voice emulator, jail. Got it. Great. Cool. Moving on. Once inside the prison, Obi-Wan proceeds to make contact with another inmate, Moralo Eval, who is suspected to be a key figure in the plot against the Chancellor. Eval expresses his respect to Hardeen for having killed a Jedi, but things are complicated by the presence of Eval's cellmate, Cad Bane. Dun, dun, dun.
Whoa! Jump scare, Cad Bane.
Cad Bane! Who does not even bother to hide his distrust of the newcomer. In addition, Obi-Wan learns that both of them plan to break out of prison very soon. He manages to relay as much to Yoda and Windu through a concealed comm device, but nevertheless is forced to carry on with his plan. In due time, Bane stages a breakout by having Boba Fett start a fight with Obi-Wan.
Little baby Boba's here.
Little baby Boba, bouncing baby Boba. Triggering a general riot, which Eval and Bane use as a cover for their escape. Obi-Wan joins them uninvited and surreptitiously aids them in escaping the prison through the morgue and the incineration facility, though several of the prison's personnel are killed by Eval and Bane in cold blood along the way. Commandeering a freighter, they make their way off-planet. Despite Bane's continuing hostility, Obi-Wan has managed to win Eval's trust, who declares that they will let him join him on their next hit. End of the first episode.
Yay. There's some really interesting things that happen in this episode. When they're in the prison, you see a lot of characters that some of them are just there's this one shark guy character.
The shark guy was so cool.
I think we've only ever seen one other shark guy character. It was in the Gungan.
Oh yeah, Waterworld.
The Water War arc.
Yeah.
There was the guy who was working with Dooku.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see another alien of his species. There was also just a bunch of little cameos from various criminals from the underworld.
Yeah,
so,
wasn't Bosk
there? Yeah, Bosk was there. Boba Fett, young Boba Fett was there. being all angry.
He's angry.
Yeah, he's an angry little boy. Yeah, a couple other things interesting about this episode. Number one, I was looking at Rako Hardeen's page, and it says he's from Concord Dawn, which is where Jango Fett is from.
Oh.
And Fen Rao and some other Mandalorians and whatnot. So, yeah, so it's a planet with some Mandalorian history. Yeah.
Wait, wasn't Jango a foundling though?
I don't know.
Is that retconned?
I don't know. It's on the canon article. That's all I know. It just says, yeah, Concord Dawn was also famous as the home world of many elite warriors, including the bounty hunter Rako Hardeen and the Mandalorian warrior and foundling Jango Fett. So yes, he's a foundling and also from there. Yeah, so that's cool. Another neat thing, the funeral. We see Satine is there. Satine is at the funeral. She doesn't speak, but she's weeping. Standing there crying.
She's weeping.
Yeah, yeah. Which is like, it's kind of neat to see her there, like, because it makes sense that she'd be there. Obviously, like, I'm glad that they had her.
Yeah. Is this before we have Obi-Wan saying? Before, like, if you had said the word, I would have left the Jedi Order. Has Obi-Wan said that already?
I don't think he said it yet.
Okay, so we don't.
Maybe I don't remember.
So we don't realize.
maybe not.
So maybe we don't realize the extent of their relationship. Or
we definitely know that they were we know that they had a thing. Like, we know that yeah. We definitely know that. We don't necessarily. I don't know if he's necessarily said I would have left the order for you. He might have. I don't remember, but it's clear at this point that we know that they were
yeah. We just haven't plumbed the depths of their relationship yet.
Yeah,
got it.
Also, I'm looking at the continuity section of this episode.
When
he's in the prison, Obi-Wan uses the code. He says, "Hey, it's me, Ben." Uses Ben as a code name, which is cool because that's the first time in canon that we have heard him use that name. And apparently, in a couple of different books, one of which is Legends and the other of which is canon, it was revealed that Ben is a name that was given to him by Satine. So that was, I guess, a nickname that he was given by Satine, and that's where the name comes from. So that's neat.
That is neat.
That's cool. But yeah, Cad Bane. Always fun to have Cad Bane come back.
Good old Bad Kane. Love me some Bad Kane.
The worst Kane I've ever seen.
Truly.
All right, let's move on to the second episode of this arc. Friends and enemies. The moral of this episode is keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer.
Is that also Sun Tzu?
I don't know.
I have to know now.
Hold on. I'm going to Google it. Okay.
Tell me now.
It just says it's a famous proverb. Hold on.
Is it a famous Chinese
Sun
proverb?
Tzu is credited with the phrase, but I don't. Yeah.
He's credited, but it might not necessarily be in Art of War.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not seeing an explicit this is from the Art of War.
Huh. Lame.
Okay.
Anyhoozle.
Yeah. Anyhoozle. Heffalumps and woozles. And the principal defense. Fugitives on the run. Disguised as Jedi killer Rako Hardeen, Obi-Wan Kenobi works undercover to solve a separatist plot against Chancellor Palpatine. Obi-Wan meets the plot's mastermind, Moralo Eval, breaking him out of jail to gain his trust. But now Kenobi faces another obstacle, bounty hunter Cad Bane. Can Obi-Wan Kenobi overcome Bane's suspicions, or will the ruthless criminal see through his disguise and expose the Jedi? Only time will tell.
Dun dun dun.
After eluding immediate Republic pursuit, Rako Hardeen, quote-unquote, still Obi-Wan Kenobi in disguise, crash-lands the ship in the swamps of Nal Hutta to further throw any pursuers off their tracks. And he, Moralo Eval, and Cad Bane proceed to the Bilbuza Bazaar, what a name, to purchase new equipment and a ship. During their shopping trip, however, Bane treats the Rhodian owner of a local pawn shop, Pablo, very roughly by nearly killing him with a toothpick when he can't keep his mouth shut.
Nearly killing him feels like a stretch.
Yeah, he pokes him in the shin.
It was rather menacing and
yeah, he was threatening him,
but
it could hurt him.
I don't think he was gonna kill him with a toothpick.
Yeah. Anyway, By the way, Pablo, named after Pablo Hidalgo.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that.
That's what it says on Pablo's page.
Yeah.
This is the one episode he's in.
I
but he's
like
named
that.
after Pablo Hidalgo. By the way, Pablo Hidalgo is he's worked at Lucasfilm for a long time. He's currently senior creative executive franchise story something. Anyway, he's a Star Wars lore expert.
He decides
basically.
what's canon and what's not, basically.
Yeah, and he's written a bunch of books.
Yep.
A bunch of like lore books and
Yeah.
stuff. Anyway,
when you were reading this and you came across the Bilbosa Bazaar, my tired brain thought that said Bulbasaur for a second, and I was very confused.
the Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
Bizarre. Yeah, it's great. Also, I love there's a great moment here when they're like walking through the town. They're like, Captain's like, I need to change we need to change our clothes. I don't like standing out. And I'm like, you're a tall, blue-skinned man with giant red eyes, and you wear a cowboy hat.
And then he goes out of his way to get another cowboy hat.
Yeah, he gets another cowboy hat.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and I think Obi-Wan calls him out on it. Like, if you're trying to lay low,
he's like,
maybe not.
He's the most conspicuous person. Like, what are you talking about? Anyway.
And he talks like this all the time.
All the time. Subsequently, in order to avoid attracting undue attention, Bane sends Kenobi to buy a new ship while he and Eval procure some weapons. Once the deal is complete, however, Bane abandons Obi-Wan to the local authorities, who are alerted by Pablo's assistant since he still does not trust him. But Obi-Wan, anticipating betrayal, had previously attached a homing beacon to the ship's hull, and when questioned by the Hutt's henchmen, he reveals the tracking frequency and, while the guards proceed to shoot down the ship, escapes the dungeon. After contacting Yoda and Mace Windu and asking them to lift the manhunt in order to allow them free movement and provide some money for a new ship, Obi-Wan is rejoined by Eval and an irate Bane, who have only barely escaped the Hutt's forces just in time to present them with their new ship. In the meantime, on Coruscant, Palpatine is asked by Mace Windu to rescind the hunt for the fugitives. However, Anakin, who is visiting the Chancellor and is still unaware of the secret mission, does not take this decision well, and Palpatine exploits this by deliberately sending him and Ahsoka to Nal Hutta. After some brutal questioning of the brutal questioning is a link. It links to Force Choke. Okay, cool. Like on Wikipedia.
Did he
brutal
Force choke
questioning
people?
links to Force Choke. He Force choked the bartender guy. Yeah.
I missed that. I don't know how I missed that, but I did.
He was lifted off the floor. We saw his feet leave the floor.
Yeah. I think Marion was in the room while I was watching it. I got a little distracted in the middle of this episode.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There was a babby in the room.
There was.
Yeah. All right. After some brutal questioning of the locals on Anakin's part, the two Jedi learn about the next likely whereabouts of the fugitive's ship, since the ship's seller decided to fuel up the ship only just enough to force them to seek out his brother's refueling station on Orondia.
That's funny.
After spotting... Yeah, it's great. I love that. After spotting their quarry as they prepare to leave, Anakin decides to ram the ship into submission and board it in mid-flight, but is foiled by Bane and a subsequent crash landing of both parties during their furious chase through a local fuel processing facility. Obi-Wan leaves the ship to tell Anakin the truth behind the matter, but is almost killed when his friend attacks him in a rage. Bane snares Anakin and prepares to kill him, but fails, and in the ensuing struggle, Obi-Wan ends up wrestling with Anakin and addressing him by name before Anakin loses consciousness. Ahsoka arrives just when Bane prepares to finish off Anakin, but with her master unconscious and the fugitive's ship still operational, she cannot prevent the three from escaping. But as Anakin awakes soon afterwards, he relates his discovery that Obi-Wan is still alive and undercover, and decides to find out the reason for this. At the same time, Yoda and Windu learn from Palpatine that he has sent Anakin after the fugitives, and so the two Jedi Masters decide to reveal the truth to Skywalker lest he endanger the mission or end up even worse. End of the second episode of the arc.
Oops.
Cool. Yeah. I was thinking about like what we see of Ahsoka in this arc, because I know like in the past whenever we've seen like there have been moments when Anakin has kind of like gone a little bit off the rails and he's like started to force choke someone or like threatens to like hurt someone in order to get information out of them or something when he's mad, and Ahsoka will often be like, "Master, no, stop, don't do that." But this time, every time Anakin does something like that, Ahsoka is just as mad as he is and just not doing anything about it, like, which is I think telling, you know, it makes sense, and you know,
yeah,
it's you know, they're both like angry and grieving, and I think it's clear that they both sort of at least in this moment they're both grieving through anger, and that's kind of their mechanism for processing those emotions. There's also like there's a moment near the end when Anakin has been knocked out and Ahsoka shows up and basically is like standing over his unconscious body and like blocking a bunch of blaster bolts from multiple directions to like protect him, and we get like a close-up of her face a couple times, and she just looks so like angry and desperate and sort of like defeated. It's such a like, you know, I just in that moment, just from that facial expression, I got this sense that like she is really like, she's like, I already lost one master, I don't want to lose another, basically. Yeah, like she, you know, she's still grieving, and now she's seeing, you know, the person that she's arguably closest to in the world at this point, you know, unconscious and about to possibly die, and, you know, defenseless, and like I can't imagine like the fear of I can't lose another person right now. Yeah, you know, and that's So that was just a moment that stood out to me
for sure.
You know,
yeah. You know, throughout these two episodes, I definitely noticed a lot. Just like we see a lot of like Anakin's like grief and rage and sadness and stuff, and throughout all of that, there's a lot of like heavy allusions to Darth Vader and like his future as the Sith Lord. Like because like at Obi-Wan's funeral, he's standing hooded, and his hood is draped in such a way that it kind of looks like Darth Vader,
sort of Vader-y shaped.
It looks Vader-y shaped. And we do kind of hear, I like the music, like we hear like the Imperial March a couple times, at least like bits and pieces of it throughout all this, which is pretty typical for anytime Anakin
gets mad.
is doing his grumpy thing.
Anytime Anakin gets mad.
He gets mad. Yep. He's angry.
Yeah. Definitely another moment of like you know, in retrospect, you know, when you said earlier, like at the beginning of our conversation about how like, you know, the Jedi could have gone about this like probably a more practical, easy way than this. Yes. And like it makes me think like yeah, like to what extent do the Jedi just not consider the consequences of their actions sometimes? And this is one of those where it's like you are like you're faking the death of a very well-known, beloved Jedi, and you're going to like hurt people in the process just by like betraying them and lying to them about this. Like it's like, you know, they act as they talk about it as if it's like this is the only way to do this, and you know they need to, you know, we need to sell the fact that Obi-Wan's dead, and so therefore Anakin can't know. And you know, it's like just from the beginning, this feels like it was probably a bad plan. Bad idea.
Probably. Yeah. Part of me wonders, like, because I feel like Palpatine's got to know, right? Or did the Jedi not let Palpatine be privy to this plan? Because I wonder, like, if Palpatine knows that Obi-Wan is like actually alive, then that changes the whole like dynamic of him sending Anakin after like this whole thing. You know, like that changed, like whether it's to like just fuel Anakin's rage, or like to further sow distrust between Anakin and the Council. I don't know. I think like it could definitely be seen as like Palpatine doing more like Sith grooming of Anakin.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like he's definitely giving that vibe in that scene. Yeah, of like, yeah, I'm sending you off here because I want to make you feel a certain way. I want to turn you against the Jedi further. Yeah, and this is
and I mean, like even just like at like a bare surface reading of this scene, like Palpatine knows that if Anakin finds out that the Jedi Council ordered the release of the guy who killed Obi-Wan, just even like on a surface level of that, like that's enough to send Anakin over the edge. And we just see Anakin in a blind rage for like most of this episode.
Yeah, it's just constantly like angry Anakin. There's like one moment when he like he catches, you know, quote unquote Hardeen, and he like, you know, picks him up and kind of slams him against the wall, and he's like, "You're lucky that, you know, like I would kill you here right now, basically, but the man you killed wouldn't want me to do that." It was kind of the like the only reason I'm not killing you is because Obi-Wan wouldn't want that. But
yeah,
like,
it wouldn't honor his memory well, so I'm not going to do it. But I want to so bad.
Mm-hmm. Fun fact: I'm looking at the trivia section here on Wikipedia. When Cad Bane is looking for a new hat in Pablo's shop, he briefly considers Indiana Jones' iconic fedora.
I'd love that.
Nice. Yeah, it's cool. Also, the helmet of Obi-Wan's disguise is a recolored version of an early concept drawing for the helmet of Boba Fett. And I really like the way that like that helmet looks. And
It's
kind
a
of
cool helmet. It does look very Ralph McQuarrie for sure.
It does. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's the first half of this arc. We will come back next week with The Box, which is such a cool episode. I love The Box. You remember that one, Sam?
Vaguely. I'm excited to rewatch it.
It's the one where Dooku basically gets a bunch of bounty hunters together and puts them in a giant box that's like a death trap room, and like it's like who survives, that kind of thing. Yeah,
it was a lot like, I mean, we see something similar in like Rebels at like the like Imperial training facility on Lothal has like some similar stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
No,
that's gonna be cool. I'm excited for that. Do we want to do favorite part of the arc, or are we just favorite part of these 2 episodes, or what do you want?
Let's do favorite part of the. Let's do these 2 episodes. Because I feel like by next week we'll have kind of forgotten some of the
a little bit,
some of the stuff from these episodes. Yeah.
Jack, what was your favorite part of these 2 episodes?
Let me think.
Other than Moralo Eval.
I like the fact that Cad Bane got a new hat. That's just funny to me. I can't help but imagine him like like Woody being like, "Where is my hat?
Yeah.
I've lost my hat. Where is my hat?
Look, I'm Woody. Howdy. And I wish the shark guy did that. Come on.
Yes, I was just thinking that. Yeah. It was also just great to see a bunch of like little character cameos from various people. Like we saw Boba, and just a bunch of cool little things. Fun. What about you, Sam? Do you have a favorite moment? And does it involve hats?
I mean, all the hat moments are great moments in these 2 episodes. Moments. They are great. Shark guy, great moment. Just there being
love shark guy.
More just like, that's just like a predatory animal, but like with a human body. That's fun Star Wars. Yeah. Love that. I love when Star Wars is just a weird character design.
Silly. Just a little bit silly, yeah.
Yeah, the old Glup Shitto effect of Star Wars. I love it. But I think my like, other than like dumb funny Star Wars, dumb funny Star Wars is my favorite part of Star Wars all the time. Yes. But I think the like Palpatine grooming Anakin, I love like seeing like just kind of like more glimpses into kind of that, because we don't get enough of that in the movies, and so like any kind of like little like we don't get enough of it in the movies for it to be like, I feel like, convincing enough.
Yeah, you know, exactly, agreed.
And so if the more we can like just kind of get like a Palpatine playing the long game with Anakin kind of thing, is always, it's fascinating.
Yeah, agreed. That's cool. It's always cool.
Yeah.
It's also cool to like, interesting to kind of like all the times that Palpatine sort of butts heads with the Council, and this is one time when that very clearly happens, because at the end of the 2nd episode they're like having that conversation with him, and he's like, you know what, I sent Anakin there because you guys aren't doing a good enough job, and they're like, come on, like,
yeah,
it's you know, that increased tension between those 2 parties. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Jack, who is your MVP This episode of Why is Moralo Eval? Moralo Eval.
I mean, it's got to be Obi-Wan, right? Because he faked his own death and like ate gross prison food and
actually the real MVP is the voice actor for Obi-Wan.
Whoever that is.
Freddie Prinze Jr.? I don't know.
Freddie Prinze Jr. is the MVP of this episode. He wasn't in it, but he's the MVP.
Let's just do that.
Cool.
Everything's made up, the points don't matter. It's fine.
Exactly. This is our podcast. Yeah. We can make up the rules. We do what we want.
Freddie Prinze Jr., please come on our podcast.
I think Pablo's the MVP.
Freddie Prinze Jr., please come on our podcast.
Yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr., come here and rant about Star Wars with us.
Yeah.
I want to get one of your legendary
Dave Filoni
righteous
stories.
Rants against... Yeah. Give us a Dave Filoni story.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And tell us why Pablo is the best character in Star Wars.
Why is Pablo the best character in Star Wars? Because he is. We all know this.
Because his name is Pablo.
It is known.
That's fine. It is known. Stats. Main character kills...
Cad Bane kills a couple.
Yeah, who does he kill?
At least 2 clones.
That's true. I do remember him shooting at least 2 clones, yeah. So we'll give Cad Bane 2.
Yeah, it's definitely at least 2. I think it was more, but I only remember 2.
Yeah, so... Again, everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Indeed.
So. Couldn't give that to Cad Bane.
It's not like Cad Bane's gonna like be the number 1 on the kill count. We all know it's gonna be Chopper, but...
Exactly.
Yeah, Chopper, then Vader, then everyone else. Or actually, it's probably Tarkin.
Why Tarkin?
Because he orders the firing of the Death Star.
Are we counting all of Alderaan as a Tarkin kill?
I mean... who else are we going to give it to? Like...
I don't know.
Like,
not a single person? Like, maybe just the Empire?
Are we going to give it to, like, the guy who pulled the trigger on the Death Star? Which I think...
just that guy.
I think in Rogue One, it was, like, the director made a cameo as that guy. So...
no, I think he was one of the, like, the guys in the hallway scene or something.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Somebody cameoed as the guy, like, on the little balcony next to the laser in the Death Star.
It does the lever thing. Yeah.
That guy.
Planet gone.
Yep. Jack, how does this make Star Wars better? Because more Star Wars is better Star Wars.
True. Moralo Eval. I think Moralo Eval.
Yeah.
Moralo Eval.
Shark guy.
Shark guy, yes. Cad Bane, always fun.
Yes.
We get to, again, and more seriously, all the stuff we already talked about like, you know, seeing kind of the way that Palpatine is continuing to manipulate Anakin, and the ways in which the Jedi Order is just kind of being reckless and blind to the damage it's doing, and also the way that Ahsoka and Anakin are similar, and the ways in which, like, potentially Anakin is rubbing off on Ahsoka in some ways.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, we definitely see, like if Ahsoka was unaffected, or at least, like, not affected enough to intervene when Anakin's force-choking people, like, we know that... Because, like, Ahsoka and Anakin both are, like, quick-tempered and spirit of the law rather than letter of the law kind of people.
Yeah.
So, Anakin's definitely rubbing off on Ahsoka in that way. And so we were seeing that kind of not necessarily positive character development. Although kind of positive in the end, but, like, not necessarily right now.
Yeah. We did it.
That we did.
Podcast over.
Yep.
We finished all the content. That's it.
You guys thought this content was unlimited. Joke's on you. We found the limit.
Got him. Did it.
We did it. Thanks, Moralo Eval.
Moralo Eval. I want more characters of that species just so we can have more people with silly voices like that.
I want live action of that, whatever that is.
Yes. Yeah.
Who would play Moralo Eval in live action?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Probably Alan Tudyk. Just gotta be able to do silly voices.
Yeah.
It'd be funny, but like in like a witty way. Just very very smart, funny.
It is a very Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk is smart, funny, and and with voices galore.
Voices galore.
I have an idea for a fun little discussion at the end of the podcast.
Okay.
Because I feel like we could go a little longer, and I want to, and it's fun.
Okay.
How to word this? Who is one actor who has not been in Star Wars that you want to see in Star Wars, and what kind of character would they be?
That's a good question. Yeah. Let me think. I don't know why the first actor who came to mind was Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh.
I don't know what I would want to like, because obviously my instinct is to be like, I want to see him as like Star Wars Kingpin, but also like he's such a great actor, he could do other things. I don't know what he was. I don't know.
He definitely needs to be menacing. Mm-hmm. Some sort of menacing film.
What came to mind was like, I don't think actually this would be necessarily correct casting, but something like with a similar vibe of Pong Krell, of like somebody who's like, maybe like not clearly a villain at first, but somebody who's corrupt and also very powerful and menacing.
Yeah, I think he could be. He would. Ooh, I want him to be one of like the crime lords in Star Wars, like not the Pikes, but like, or like Techno Union or something, but like one of like the heads of one of those things. And like if you could see like a gritty underworld Star Wars show with Vincent D'Onofrio as like one of the, like, I mean, I would want him to be just like a human character of some sort, or like human adjacent, not like, not like fish head Pike kind of thing. Like I want like, because like you want to be able to see his face, you know.
Yes.
But he's just has such a physicality to him. He's just a big dude. There's a reason he's playing Kingpin in like the MCU. So yeah, I think if he could something like crime boss. So basically Star Wars Kingpin. You already said that. But I yes-anded your thing.
Exactly. Yeah. What about you, Sam? Do you have anybody come to mind for you?
On the other end of the spectrum, I want Brendan Lee Mulligan in Star Wars somehow.
Yes. I want him to play a weird like merchant on Coruscant.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want him to do like the trope of like all these like SNL comedians being droids in Star Wars. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
Like you can be the comedic relief, but like I want him to like, I think like a merchant or something, or like some like, I think I wanted to be basically what the Jack Black Lizzo episode from The Mandalorian, a character like that, just like cartoonishly goofy and stupid, but like very funny, and like I don't want to stop watching this character do things.
Yes.
Like something like that. I think that would be great.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I want him to be like a very like sort of weird but kind of very like self-aware, kind of sassy characters. I feel like he's very good at that, you know. Man.
Yeah. I also wanted him to do like some sort of like because he has like his like he's like really famous for like this like anti-capitalist, anti-establishment rant that he did in like one of his like D&D campaigns, like the laws or threats.
Yeah,
like
he's done many of those, but I
want to do something like that, but in Star Wars, and like have it be like
he's just like an anarchist.
Yeah, like an everyman anarchist, like in the rebellion somewhere. Like just like I don't know. Like his character be like so like the main character in the story like is sitting down with him at a bar. And like he just starts ranting about the Empire, and he's like, I don't care. Like I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel about this. I don't care if I get shot by the stormtrooper or something. And like
he's the kind of guy that's just crazy enough that Saw Gerrera would probably hire him. You know?
Yeah, but like you know, but like he might not have any like employable skills beyond his brain, and like it's just kind of like political machinations and like I don't know. Or if Star Wars had talk radio, Brendan Lee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love that.
Like he's like Star Wars Rush Limbaugh or something, but like not conservative.
I was thinking like during the Empire, like he's like sort of a shock jock, but on the like rebel radio frequency.
Yes.
Like he's like on the anti-imperial, like it's like an anti-imperial talk show. He's like a DJ, and he just like spends half his time just ranting about the Empire but going into very like specific detail about the like why the Empire is terrible, and like
I need this now.
Yeah, but also he'd also be like, but also the Republic wasn't great either, and like he'd be very like, no, we need a new system.
No. If he needs to be in Mando era and just like be somebody who's just like, the New Republic's dumb, right? Like everyone in the New Republic's dumb.
Actually, that's perfect. Actually, yeah. Oh, that's great. It's amazing.
I like this.
Yeah, I like this too.
Jack,
we haven't gotten Keanu in Star Wars yet.
Yeah. Although apparently
Keanu's got to be a Jedi, right?
Apparently, and Disney put this out, like I think as part of like their wanting to like distance themselves from the Acolyte. Like, hey, we almost hired Keanu Reeves as Soul. Yeah, they put that out like today or something. It was like we almost like instead of the actor whose name I forget / can't pronounce, who played Soul.
Lee Jung
Zhao, something. He's fantastic as Soul. No one else should be Soul. He was perfect. And also, Leslie Headland like wanted him from the get go to be hit, but like Lucasfilm exec was like, "Oh no, we were gonna hire Keanu Reeves for that, but we didn't, and I guess that's why the show tanked." Oops.
Yeah, thanks, Keanu.
Yeah, clearly it's Keanu Reeves' fault that the Acolyte was received poorly from racists and bigots. Oops. Yeah, sorry we didn't hire a white guy. Oops. Yeah. But no, Keanu Reeves would be fun in Star Wars.
Yes. I would love to see him as either a Jedi or as like not like a fallen Jedi, but somebody who like is like a former Jedi who left the Order and kind of just is on his own, sort of like an Ahsoka character almost, like sort of like a traveling lone samurai type.
I feel like he would need to be in heavy makeup or like be voice a CGI character or something. But like because I'm thinking he would be good as the brother or some sort of Bendu character.
Yeah, I could see him as the Bendu. Yeah.
Yep. Or as a disembodied spirit in a tumbleweed. That could be fun.
Just as one of his many iconic roles.
Yeah. It's Keanu Reeves in a tumbleweed in the SpongeBob movie.
Yeah, in one of the 12 SpongeBob movies.
Yep. Not the first one.
Not the first.
Probably not the last.
But it's the one with Keanu in it.
It's the one with Keanu in it.
No, there's more. There's more coming.
Yeah. It's a cash cow. They can't not.
It's a cash sponge.
It's a cash sponge. Just gotta wring that sponge out for all the cash it's got. And then soak up more, and then wring it out again, and then soak up more, and then wring it out again. Because it's a sponge. Delicious. You do the sponge.
That's it. I was just doing doing the sponge.
You do the sponge. No, you are doing the sponge.
Yeah. God. Amazing. Actually, that's another good was Tom Kenny. Like whether either in live action or as a voice.
Tom Kenny would make a fantastic droid. I think he would be like, he'd be really, really good droid. I think.
Yeah, or if he was in live action, just like a weird shopkeeper. I feel like there's a lot of like places for just weird shopkeepers and stuff. Like, actually, I'm gonna see if
he has to play opposite Clancy Brown in something.
Tom Kenny, hold on, Tom Kenny. Hold on, he has done some Star Wars stuff. Okay, so
he's probably done voice acting in Clone Wars and stuff.
So in Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, and Rogue Squadron 3, he played Biggs. And in the Star Wars The Clone Wars... Oh, he was in Clone Wars. He played Newt Gunray, Nadar Veb, Tandivo, and Greedo, and the Rodian Salute. So he's actually done a bunch of voices.
There we go.
Anyway, yeah. He's Newt Gunray. He's Nadar. He's Nadar? It's the little... The Mon Calamari kid that...
from the Waterworld episode?
No. This is from... He gets killed by Grievous alongside Kit Fisto. He was Kit Fisto's
That was
Yeah.
SpongeBob.
That was SpongeBob, everybody.
It's very SpongeBob.
Anyway,
It's very SpongeBob
yeah,
of him.
Tom Kenny was in this, and I still stand by it though. I would more of that. I wouldn't be.
Tom Kenny's good.
I wouldn't be. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Tandivo. He's the the guy. The inspector dude from that like murder mystery episode, the guy that looks like the old Hollywood actor.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, I can't remember his name. Anyway, point is, Tom Kenny has been in this a lot already.
Love me some Tom Kenny.
I still would like more.
I love me some Tom Kenny.
Who doesn't?
He needs to play with Clancy Brown in something though. So like. He needs to have a character that interacts with Ryder Azadi somehow.
Two of their existing characters together.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryder Azadi and Tandivo.
Yeah,
like,
or like somehow Newt Gunray returned. I don't know.
somehow. Newt Gunray returns. Well. That was a good question. I like that. Yeah. I feel like that's another one that we could come back to that and keep like. Yeah.
Audience, if you have Star Wars fan casts of characters that don't exist but actors that do, Jack, how can they let us know?
They can join the discussion by leaving a voicemail at 512-850-653. Yeah,
that'd be wonderful. Do it. I dare you. You won't.
Do it.
You won't. Come on. All the cool kids are doing it, just like Spice. We're all doing it.
Just like Spice.
Just like Spice.
Yeah. All the cool kids are leaving voicemails for our listener mailbag for this podcast and
while
also
on
doing
Spice.
Spice. While on Spice. You have to be doing both of them simultaneously.
Yeah, otherwise it doesn't count.
Yeah. Sam, what are we watching next time?
The other half of this arc, whatever those episodes are called.
Join us next time when we're talking about the Clone Wars, Season 4, Episodes 17 and 18, The Box and Crisis on Naboo. There we are.
Is there a ghost in the next episode?
In the box?
Like a box ghost?
Like a box.
I am the box ghost.
Who voiced the box ghost? Hold on.
That guy in Star Wars.
Box ghost voice. I hope it's Tom Kenny.
Please.
No, it's Rob Paulsen.
Who's Rob?
Rob Paulsen's great. He's Yakko and Pinky.
Oh yeah.
Among many other things.
Yeah.
Hold on. Now I gotta look up to see if he's in Star Wars. Rob Paulsen. He's got to be.
He did a Star Wars thing with who I think. Who?
Oh yeah, he was Pinky, and it was like they like were reading lines from the original Star Wars or something,
Yeah.
right?
He's also Carl Weezer.
Oh yeah, he's Carl. Yeah.
Jeez,
okay, so yeah, so he is. Let's see. He's provided voices. Rob Paulsen has provided voices for several Star Wars video games. Let's see.
Gigi, what do you voice against Star Wars?
Yeah, Gigi.
She's got some lungs.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
he's been a bunch of like random like no-name characters in various video games.
Sweet. But what was that thing he did? It was like he and some other like voice actor, like they did the "It's Over, Anakin, I Have the High Ground" scene as their characters.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember who the other actor was. Yeah, that's good. That's a good question though.
Yeah, that was fun. It's always funny. I always like that. When people send me that on Instagram or whatever all the time, and it's never not funny, and I always watch it. It always brings me joy. I always smile.
It's Rob Paulsen and Seth Green from Family Guy.
Which voice is Seth Green doing in that?
Actually, hold on. Let me see if it's.
Ow. JJ.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, so I think Chris Griffin from Family Guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as Anakin, and then Obi-Wan is Pinky. It's great. Anyway, Gigi is just climbing all over the place, and now she's in the air. Sam's lifting that cat.
Yeah. No respect.
Ain't got no respect. No respect, boss.
Yep.
Okay, I'm seeing this has got to be. How is this? Hold on.
What? What are you seeing?
So I'm on the Rob Paulsen Wikipedia page,
as one does,
and the most recent role that is there's no citation for this, but it says that Rob Paulsen is going to be voicing a character named Teebo, who is an Ewok that was at the Battle of Endor in Kingdom Hearts 4. And to my knowledge, they have not confirmed that there's going to be Star Wars in Kingdom Hearts 4. Hold on, let me Google this.
What?
Where the heck? Why did... Yeah, no, what the heck?
Star Wars in Kingdom Hearts 4? Am I going to have to, like, get whatever system plays Kingdom Hearts to do this? And do I have to catch up on, like,
PS5
7
or
other
whatever.
games to, like, do this?
There's, like, 12.
No.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from.
Square
What the
Enix,
heck?
what are you doing?
I'm not seeing anything about this. Kingdom Hearts, Rob Paulsen. I'll search that. Yeah, I'm not seeing. Where the heck did they get this information? That's gotta be. But that's such a weird thing to like put in a wiki where it's just not. It's not like funny. It's just like a random like falsehood.
But I need
Like,
it now. I need it to be true.
I would love that. Yeah.
Now we need a Keyblade lightsaber. Like, you know that's going to happen next.
There's already so much fan art of that. For years, people have been wanting Star Wars.
I know.
In Kingdom
I
Hearts.
know there's fan art for that, but like,
I know.
it's going to have to happen at this point.
Yeah, Rob Paulsen has spoken through his Wikipedia article.
I have spoken.
That somebody else wrote. I have spoken.
I have spoken.
Gosh. Well, anyway, it's been a good time,
we should wrap this
Sam.
up. Yeah. It's been awesome.
It's yeah. It's almost 2 hours. So
all of it's been like 45 minutes for like
for
the last like few weeks, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's true. We're getting a longer one.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Tune in next time, and we will not hear or see you, but you'll hear us.
There'll be more Star Wars.
The next episode.
That's
of
for
Limited
sure.
Content, when there's a Star Wars that we talk about, as we do. You know.
Yep.
Shocking.
But the stars don't fight each other, just so you guys know.
Yeah, I know it's confusing, but like, yeah, Star Wars. Also, there's usually actually no, there's multiple wars. I was gonna say
It's exclusively wars, but the
Yeah.
stars don't participate, which is silly. The Death Star does, but it's not a star. It's not even a moon. It's just a battle
it's not even
station.
A moon. It's just a battle station. It's just a space station with a big laser.
Okay, I need to hang up. I love you, Jack.
All right, bye, everybody. Have a good night.
All right, cut the chatter. Roger, Roger.